When I was putting together this course, I sat for a moment and I thought, what's the best way to illustrate the importance of business process improvement? I did some research and I think that this cartoon is my favorite by far. It shows that if we don't remember to look at what we're doing and how we're doing it, we really get stuck and we get stuck in the past. And this cartoon's a little bit of an exaggeration, right? Of using the square wheels instead of the round wheels. But if you work in organizations like I have, you see really this isn't too much of an exaggeration in some cases. People get stuck in the way they do things. So business process improvement is a mindset and it's a methodology. You need people to ensure that they're always thinking, is this the best way to be doing this process? And then you need them to flip gears to think, okay, now that we know this is a problem, how do we understand the process? How do we fix it? How do we get the people on board? And that's what business process improvement is. And in my career, I found it's actually pretty fun. Like I said, I started my career in accounting, which can be a little dry, but getting into the systems, working with operations and data, that is what adds some variety to the day and makes it more interesting. And in addition, you get to add value to your organization and add some more credentials and value to your career. So that, of course, you can, earn more money over time, or you can increase your reputation in your organization. So business process improvement isn't something that's dry. It's working with people, and it's working dynamically, it's adding variety to your day. It's a really great topic to work in. If I were to further distill down that message of what business process improvement is, it's a way to improve the different areas of what an organization does and how they do it. So if you're trying to improve quality, enhance service, increase the number of products, reduce cost, increase productivity, reduce errors, this is what business process improvement entails, right? So it's the end-to-end business of how do we source, how do we do what we do, how do we sell what we do. It's ensuring that what we do is done effectively and that we're bringing people together to ensure that, okay, we're doing it in the most logical, sane way possible. And that's what I kind of want you to take away from this. And business process improvement isn't just looking at a process, throwing a quick solution over the fence. It's working to really get a strong understanding of how this thing actually works, not how someone thinks it works, and then to work with the people to identify solutions, pick the best solution, and put that solution into existence, right? Ensure that it sticks. And finally, business process improvement is a framework developed around the DMAIC acronym. We're going to learn what this means, but this is how we define, measure, analyze, improve, and control. And this is a cycle, so it repeats. And it's just a really memorable way to understand where we're at in each stage of the process and in this course. And it's just the core element here. Of course, people think and they ask, why does business process improvement matter? As we previously mentioned, if an organization is not always and continuously working on the ways that it does what it does, right, it's going to fall behind. If you have competitors and you're in the Stone Age and they're building rocket ships, that's not going to be a great thing, right? You can do a lot of manual workarounds for a time, but at some point the gap becomes too big. So if organizations want to ensure that they're competitive and they're thriving, business process improvement matters a lot. Also, when we have processes that are ineffective, this can cause all sorts of issues within the business that lead to other workarounds, more frustration and stress, and a lack of profitability. And of course, a lack of a good job or working experience. So, right, poor processes can increase waste, cost, time to complete tasks. And people look at these things saying, we know there's a better way. And that's why business process improvement matters. It's saying, okay, we know there's a problem. Let's get it fixed and ensure it stays fixed. And finally, business process improvement matters because it's not a standalone activity. It's not something you do once a year, once a quarter to check a box. It's a way of how you work and how your organization functions. So it's ensuring that we understand what good looks like and we're getting close to that as we can. To summarize, there are some really great benefits of having great business processes. You can read through them here, but overall, we have increased effectiveness and productivity, improved product quality, increased customer loyalty and satisfaction, increase staff morale, and then we create competitive advantage by incorporating the first four factors. So when you're done this course and you go back to your organization and they say, why should we care? Why should we get on board with how you want to change and improve processes? Bring the slide out, share this with them, talk through it. This is what organizations are striving to do. And I think through business process improvement, it's one of the most cost-effective ways of achieving each of these points. So if you're working with someone in your organization who is a little skeptical, or you need to get some additional support, talk through these points. They're really valuable. And of course, we all are not trying to improve processes because we just want to make our organizations more profitable. We want to benefit our own careers and make more money and have more career visibility and momentum. And that's something that business process improvement also delivers. So if you're trying to learn new skills, if you're trying to grow, if you're trying to figure out the best way to add clear and demonstrable value to your organization that you can then leverage for promotion, raises, or perhaps a new job elsewhere, this is a great way of doing it. In my career, I have created a summary of different projects I've worked on, whether internally or sharing that with people externally. And you can quantify, here's what we worked on, here's what we achieved, here were the dollar and time savings. And that's just really powerful, right? Everyone can go into an organization and talk about why they're valuable. Well, if you can prove it, boy, there's a lot of value there that you can leverage and take to the bank. In the final few slides here of the introduction on this business process improvement course, I want to give you a flavor of what business process improvement actually looks like in the workplace. I have 3 examples here for you that can give you a flavor that, okay, this is something that works for different types of organizations, solving different types of problems, and implementing different types of solutions, right? It's not just for manufacturing or for the pharmaceutical industry, it's for everybody. So in this first example, we have a wholesaler. So it's not a large organization. And what they found is that they've had a few instances of where the deliveries are going to the billing instead of the shipping address. So what this organization did is they looked at how often this was occurring. They stepped back to ask why. And then they realized there's this common mistake that just keeps reoccurring. So how did they fix it? They required that delivery personnel double check the shipping and billing addresses before they head out on their routes. And they also ensured that there was consistent and better training that all drivers and shipping personnel had to go through. So by looking for the common pattern, they said, okay, we understand why it's occurring. Now let's ensure that we have controls in place to fix it so it stays fixed. In the second example here, we have a pharmacy chain that is filling prescriptions, and they found that the cost of filling certain prescriptions was super high. When the managers took a step back to ask why, they found that the pharmacists were filling the orders using a very large jar, and they weren't using all of the materials by the end of the day, which means they had to throw it away. So they looked at the options that could have been used to fill these prescriptions. They found that there's a smaller jar size that could and should be used most of the time. So what the organization did is they put some formal procedures together. Again, they put some training together, and they had a chat with the staff to help them decide what materials to use and when. And by doing this, they were able to reduce their costs and ensure that they're not wasting materials. In our third and final example, this is a food and beverage organization that's pretty disorganized. So they have a large operation, but they're disorganized because they're using paper to track the purchases, to track their receipts, and to track where inventory is or isn't. And because of how they've set up their process to handle each of these pieces, there's a lot of duplication. There's frustrated suppliers who are being told they didn't deliver what they did deliver. And then, of course, there's food waste and higher costs as a result. So what this organization did is it, once again, stopped back, said, pause. We need to understand what is occurring and why. Once they mapped the process, they could see that there needed to be a better way of getting this information from end to end into a system so everyone could see what they have available and where it's at. Of course, they did some additional training to teach the members on how to use the software and to inform them that there is a change in how the process will be completed. By doing so, the organization was able to reduce the cost, reduce waste, and just make everyone's lives a lot simpler and help keep people sane. So this is the third example. And what we can see here is that we've walked through 3 examples of business process improvement, and there's different industries, there's different challenges, but business process improvement is used to solve them all. Although there's different types of problems to solve, there's a common framework. And that's what business process improvement is. It's a framework on how to approach a problem and how to methodically go through the steps to ensure that nothing's missed. We're covering all the key and critical elements, and then we're identifying the right solution. We're putting it into place. We're ensuring there's training, and then it sticks. As I mentioned earlier, we're going to use the DMAIC framework to go through this course and also teach you how to use that to analyze, improve, and control processes in your process improvement journey. To show you a quick diagram, we are all the way at the top with define, and we will work our way down. So all 5 elements are key, they're a cycle, and it's something I'm going to teach you as we go throughout, and you're not going to forget it by the time we're done, I promise.